Hi, I'm Madeline from Sheen Slings, and this is my video review of the Baby Bjorn Harmony carrier. So this is the newest carrier by Baby Bjorn, and I'm going to take you through it from bottom upwards, through all of its features, what it's like to use. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to talk about the ages and stages of babies it works for, what positions it offers, its pros, its cons, and then I'm going to compare it not only to other Bjorn models, so this is one of 4, so I'm going to compare it to the other ones, and I'm going to also compare it to other carriers on the market that are similar, its main competitors. So let's get started, starting at the bottom of the carrier with the waistband. So compared to some of the previous models, this carrier not only has a waistband, it has a really good one. So you can see it's nice and wide, it is quite firmly padded, but it's got quite a lot of give to it and quite a lot of moldability, so it will accept lots of different shapes. And it has a lumbar pad, so most Bjorn carriers, if they have had a lumbar pad, they've been attached to the shoulder part, and that sometimes has made it a bit challenging to actually get it into the lumbar and to adjust it. This one is attached to the waistband and really easy to adjust to make sure that it gets into your lumbar pad. And it is honestly the first Baby Bjorn to have a really supportive waistband. So I love to see this addition. How you start putting this carrier on is sort of to dive into it like a t-shirt or a parachute harness. So I'm going to pop the harness over me. So one of the big pros of all the Baby Bjorn carriers is they're designed to fit to the adult first. So you get the adult completely set up and then put the baby in. And some parents really like that reassurance of having those two things completely broken out, particularly if you are very nervous or very worried. And so I'm going to start by putting the harness structure on, and you can see, so we've got the shoulder straps are again quite well padded, but not overtly. They sit quite, they're not really thick. But they are quite well padded and again quite moldable to fit different sizes and shapes. The whole thing is made of this mesh material, so the idea is hopefully it doesn't make you too hot. And you can see we've got a bit at the back. Let's set this off. So the straps are designed to run like a rucksack with a chest strap in between, and you can run these up and down on the sliders. So these are designed to move up and down, which makes it really easy to adjust between different parents of different shapes and sizes. Now compared to the Baby Bjorn 1, which is the other model most similar to this, they've actually made these runners quite a bit longer, so they will go adjust for both smaller and larger parents than before. Likewise, the straps are a lot longer, so again will fit out to larger parents than previously, but also the padding section is much shorter, so it's possible to get this much tighter than before. So again, it will fit more petite parents much better than before. So one of the problems with the one is it often wouldn't fit parents who were below particularly females below a UK size 10, because they just simply couldn't get it tight enough. Whereas now there is a lot more adjustment, so it will fit more into those ranges. Not all the way to the extremes, but more so than any previous model. So it will definitely fit more parents than before. So we want to get this approximately fitted, and if I needed more space, I can flick that upwards. I don't want to get this too tight because I need some give to get it closed. So I'm giving myself a little bit of space. And now I'm going to get my waistband on. And you'll notice this panel is quite long. I'm going to hike it up because I want that waistband to sit on my waist, because that's going to give me the best distribution to my hips. And this is something that's not always clear in the manual, and often when parents say they're finding this uncomfortable and they're feeling a lot of strain on their shoulders, it's a case of raising that waistband. And then you can see if I tighten that up, I can get that lumbar pad right in the middle. I can tighten from both sides. Again, there's loads of spare things for parents of different sizes, and I could have got this tighter if I was smaller. Not that I am. So, and now I've got it all on me, I'm ready to get my baby, but I'm going to talk you through the panel first. So this panel adjusts in both width and height. which is really nice because it allows it to adjust for different size babies. And the thing I really like about it is, compared to previous Bjorn models, is the panel is really soft and really moldy. So one of my previous criticisms was of the one was it was quite sturdy and it seemed to just sort of straighten babies out. This one is really moldy, really will go around baby's shape and give a really comfortable carry. Before I get to that, I realise I actually haven't talked about this bit. So as I mentioned, this is designed to fit parent and baby separately, and how they manage it is through a harness. And also they print the entire instruction manual onto this thing, which I really don't get. So I'm going to tuck all that away. So you've got this harness. It is something to be aware of, because if you are breast or chest feeding, this is not a sling you will be able to do that in, because it sits over breast or chest tissue. So you won't be able to feed in the sling, maybe by bottles, but not by breast or chest. Also, depending on how it sits on you, it may feel uncomfortable if it is putting pressure. So definitely worth trying and checking if that affects you. So we come back to the panel. I said it adjusted both in width and height. So if I show you, the width adjusts simply through these zippers. I've got it on the narrowest at the moment, and then as my baby grows, I can go wider and wider and wider. So that's on its widest, but I can go anywhere in between. I can literally fit this exactly to my baby, and I'll show you when I get my doll in a minute. And you can click it into position. So you literally, I think you heard that click. The zipper is designed to actually lock into place, so it won't move once you've found the right setting. I advise, if you're using this for the first time, to go to the narrowest, pop your baby in, and then adjust it to the right size, which I'm going to do in a sec. And then in terms of height, we have, and I really like this about this model, this is not something that's been on the previous models, we have this neck support, really, not head support, head and neck support, and it folds down and it poppers down. So the previous ones were designed to fold, but they had a problem with flipping back up. These have really sturdy poppers to get them right out of baby's way and wherever you need them, depending on how tall or not tall your baby is at the moment. So I'm going to grab my baby, and then I will talk you through the rest. So I'm going to grab my baby and I'm going to cuddle them. Now in the manual, Bjorn shows a way where you have it half done up and you thread the baby in. I tend to find that disgruntles a lot of babies. So I just start by giving them a cuddle and then bringing the panel around them and letting their legs adopt whatever position. I will adjust it to be right in a moment. And then I'm going to find this thing, and I go past and back. And I can start to tighten a little bit, but not too much, because I want to get even on both sides. And again, past and back, and I can tighten. Another difference compared to the previous models is these buckles, and these buckles have been made smaller, so they don't feel quite as clunky or as large and taking up so much real estate on your baby's back. And now you can see this is where it's really nice with this head support. I can pop it here if I want to, or actually for this baby, because I really want to just have the support behind the back of the neck and no higher, I can put it on the lower setting, which is here. One thing I will say is these are stiff, so they're not designed to be able to be undone easily, but consequently they don't drop easily either. Right, yeah, there we go. They're getting a bit easier actually the more times I use this carrier. So no, they're not. Didn't do it. Come on, there we go, click. Spoke too soon. There we go, click. Right, and now I can also put this up. So another feature of this carrier is all the bits that are actually in contact with baby have, instead of having this mesh, which is soft but not really soft, have been replaced with jersey, and this jersey is super soft. Definitely something you're really happy to have against newborn skin. And they've lined all of these buckles and hard bits with this jersey to make it softer and cozier next to baby, but then you don't have any of the warmth because you have the mesh all over baby's back. So now I'm going to adjust how baby's sitting. So I'm going to give them a tuck, and I'm going to adjust those zips so that they run to the back of the knee, like so, and click in, and the other one, and click in. Voila! So now baby sat really nicely, and I've adjusted the head already, but I could have changed that if I wanted to. Likewise, if I need it to be a bit tighter, I can tighten this all up. Or if I need some more space, I can lift this buckle from within the jersey up here and make less space. If I needed more head support, I can raise this up to the next popper. So I have a lot more flexibility in terms of getting a great fit. I fitted this to a relatively small newborn doll. So she's about the size of a 6-week-old, but I can easily adjust this and fit it to a much larger child. So I think generally this, and likewise I can get it a little bit smaller if needed. So I'm finding this carrier works really well actually from newborn. It's one of the rare ones that will work from newborn because it's so soft and so mouldy and adjusts the shape baby is. Work from newborn to about 18 months. So it's weight tested from about 3 kilos to 15 kilos. 18 months, it will depend a little bit on how you're using it. So in terms of positions, this carrier offers inwards, like I'm showing you, offers outwards, and it also offers back. But it is worth being aware because this strap doesn't undo. The only method for getting it on your back is to put baby on your front and then swizzle the whole thing around, which a lot of parents find quite claustrophobic and quite difficult, particularly when they're doing it with a feisty 1-year-old. So a lot of parents might find, I found with the previous model Bjorn, the Bjorn 1, which had the same method, a lot of parents were moving on from this carrier around the time they started to find it too heavy on the front, which is often around a year. But if they could get it onto their back confidently, then they were easily getting to 18 months, maybe even a little bit longer. And I anticipate this is very similarly sized. I anticipate this would be relatively similar in terms of how long it would last. It doesn't offer a hip carry, and it doesn't offer the ability to cross these straps across your back. And that will mean that some people will find this more comfortable than others. It's like jeans. Like any carrier, you know how it sits. It's going to be comfortable if it sits nicely on your hips and if it's getting the weight off your shoulders. But if it's not, because it doesn't cross or because the waistband doesn't fit you quite right, then it's not going to be great. Which is why I always recommend trying on carriers if you can before you buy them. In terms of price, this one comes with a hefty price tag. It's priced just below £200, which makes it one of the most expensive carriers on the market. Do I think it's worth it? Well, there are carriers that will last longer, more to like 2, 3, that have more flexibility, that offer the ability to have it this way or crossed, that offer the hip carry, that offer more growth, and most of these carriers are cheaper. So I'm thinking about the Manduka XT, I'm thinking about the Ergo Omni Breeze, I'm thinking about the Beko Gemini and the Beko 8. And Lily Baby. There are definitely other options that will do much the same thing. Where this one has a pro is that all of the adjustments are all at the front, and that often makes parents feel calmer. However, the other carriers aren't hard, and I feel a lot of parents buy into this because they're feeling like they can't do something, that it's too much for them. And I would say almost everybody who feels that way, who comes and tries on carriers with me or comes and talks to me, don't feel that way once I've walked them through a carrier once. And they go, oh, actually, it was much, much, much easier than I was expecting. So please don't feel like this is your only option for you. It isn't. If you try it on and it fits you well and you love it and it's really going to work for you, then and you want to, by all means. But if it feels out of your budget, I promise you the other carriers I've mentioned that do all the same things will work just as well, and you will be able to use. It won't be too difficult. So yeah, The big con of this sling, I think, is mainly that not being able to access your breast and not feeling quite as close by having that dividing material, and the price tag. And also that it doesn't have quite the flexibility of fit of many. But that said, it fits a great number of parents, much more than any previous Bjorn model. And it really does give a lovely cozy fit. So all in all, it is definitely my favourite of all the Bjorn models. If you have any questions at all about this carrier, please put them in the comments below and I will answer. If you have any queries at all, please do, and get in touch, and I look forward to hearing your opinions on it. All the best. Thanks. Bye.